Hello. A video about climate. I want to remind you first that consistency is sanity. And so when I show you here that climate is a direct result of the sun and earth interaction, and when I remind you that climate is much of what we talk about here in the news and things like that, it's an important thing. Well, what you realize is that again, the lime is here. And how do you see that? Well, you can see it in how climate originates in, you can see cLima, which is slope to slope. And this reminds of the liminality, which originates in lime. The liminality originates in limen, okay, and lime. And so, yes, I just figured out we also have limen, right? Limen is a step. It's to take a step. And then you have climax, right? A climax is a ladder, right? Oh, these words, they are so good, right? Suddenly everything is, you see, there is a dynamic in here between the sun specifically. Why is the sun involved in the climate? Well, after seeing that everything that I've seen, it's a bit funny because it's like it's like it's almost as if the sun is married to the climate, you see. Because I see this marriage everywhere between the sun and lime. And once again, we see this abstraction, the abstraction of this marriage into the climate itself and the word of climate. And yeah, I find it very fascinating. And maybe you believe that what I present here is, you believe maybe that it's insanity, but the problem is that I am consistent, which means that suddenly I am not insane. Suddenly this is sanity, you see. And so because why is it like that? Because when I see these things, I see these different things that I talk about, and I see the same thing from different perspectives. Well, suddenly that's meaningful, you know? And there is like nothing to do about that, you know? It's just how it is. Well, what you can do is find opposing arguments, you know? That's what you can do. But as it seems, there really seems to be a marriage between the sun and lime, and you can see it in the climate also. So it's reaching into everything. It's so fascinating to me, and yeah, it explains a lot, you know. Like we know that, like, the reason why people are critical against carbon emissions is because, or carbon dioxide, it is because the sun will bounce and it will become more, how do you say, the sun rays will stay for longer within the earth atmosphere or something like that, you know. It will bounce more times. But the real reason is not carbon dioxide, but the real reason is that there is a sunlight that is bouncing and creating the climate. It creates the water that evaporates, you know, evaporated water because of the sunlight on the oceans. Suddenly you have a high pressure of things, or I don't know. And these high pressures and low pressures of raising air masses creates wind, and suddenly we have wind, we have rain, and all because of the sun that shines on this and creates a climate. So you have, so yeah, it's just so perfect that it's called climate, and it is a direct, strongly connected to the sun. You know, people want to say like, oh, it's humans, right? It's no, 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 no. As usual, just forget about that sun. You know, forget about the sun, right? That's the idea. You know, uh, how much research is it on the sun? You know, um, it's not that people talk about it, at least. So, and that's frightening. It's frightening that when the sun is affecting the planet so much that it's not more something that's talked about, right? Anyhow, that's a different story. So yeah, I just want to show you here that again, you have the climate, and maybe you believe that it has nothing to do with it, but as you can see, it is the slope, and the slope has to do with transitioning and liminality and climax and yeah, things like that, which is related again, you know. And it's you have to agree that this is super interesting, that how can it be like this, you know. And it's just how it is, you know. Fascinating, right? um, okay, that's all. Bye bye.